Alright guys, welcome back to some more Umineko, When They Cry. Now, I know in the videos that I uploaded like yesterday or a few days ago, I don't know. I know that I said that I'd be taking a break, but the more I thought about it, the more I feel like it's so undeserved. You guys deserve a Umineko video. Now, the reason why I said I wanted a break is because I recorded this, and if you've been looking at my channel recently, but I recorded an 11-hour uh, character tier list for One Piece as my 800th video special, because now I've made 800 videos on my channel. And I've done that ever since I've gone 100 videos, right? I've done a 100 video special, 200 videos, 300, 400, and the 800th hit yesterday, or I don't know when I'm uploading this. I think I'm gonna upload this right after. So yeah, I recorded the first part. It took me 5 hours, but I wasn't prepared for it to take me 5 hours, and I really needed to get some sleep. So I went to sleep, woke up the next day, recorded the rest of the day, did the 5 hours. Well, 6 hours. It was 6 hours. So in total, 11 hours. And yeah, that really broke my throat. Straight up broke my throat, and it was very mentally draining. But now it's been a day. Had some time to, and my throat's still not okay. I'm not sure if it's very audible too when you guys are watching this. But yeah, my throat's not in the best of conditions because I've been talking for 11 hours the past 3 days. But yeah, I just wanted to do a Umineko part here. And besides, this is better because then at least I won't be talking as much. I won't be saying as much random crap as usual. We'll actually be going at a faster pace, I hope. And yeah, I'll try not to talk too loudly. I'll try to be a bit more calm here. This part, just just to help my throat out. I feel so bad for my throat. I really tested its limits here. you, you guys try to rank every character in One Piece. There's an insane bunch. I didn't even rank half of them. Not even half, or close to half. There's 1,000 characters in One Piece. I ranked about 420. Yeah, nice, blaze it. So, bad joke. So yeah, but you know, it took me 11 hours to do. It took me 11 hours to fully decide my final ranking, and even then, there were things I disagreed with myself. Like there are characters I could not bring myself to rank properly. But I'm not gonna think about that anymore because that's brought me enough headaches. And between the two takes, by the way, I want to mention this too. Between the two takes, like, after I went to sleep, I closed the tab. So when I came back the next day and had to record the second part of the 800 video special where I rank every character, I had to put all the people back, like all the characters back to the spots where they were originally. And that took me a whole another hour to do, or about 50 minutes, I think. So it took me a long time. So I spent a lot of effort making those, but and I know those aren't gonna get a lot of reception or a lot of how do I put it? I know that's not gonna be a very popular. Those aren't gonna be very popular videos, but I don't do them because I want it to be popular. I don't do this because I want this to be popular. I don't play Umineko. I read Umineko because I genuinely enjoy it. And that's the reason why I've done everything on my channel so far. I've done those One Piece videos because I genuinely enjoy One Piece. Heck, I'm surprised that I was able to talk about One Piece for 11 hours in the course of 2 days. It's insane to me, and it didn't feel like 11 hours. It genuinely didn't. It felt like so much less. But it just shows that when I genuinely love something, and I can just keep on talking forever, which is why Umineko has partly been so slow paced because I'm genuinely enjoying Umineko. So in fact, for me, the more I spend time talking about something, the more invested I am in it, and I am very invested in Umineko. So yeah, uh, but with Umineko, uh, as serious when I started this, I did not expect this to be popular. By the way, I just started this because I thought it was gonna be a fun read. No, I did not think this is going to be the most successful series on my channel so far. I mean, I've gotten so much support for this, and I felt it kind of unfair for me to just ditch you guys because I want to take a break after my after that whole whole course of stuff I did with the character tier list. So I was like, nah, I'll bring you, I'll do one more video, and then I don't think I'll record anymore until the weekend, at least, if not next week, because yeah, I need that break at this still. But I thought the Umineko, deserved another video, so here I am. And of course, I love reading Umineko. If any chance I get to read this, of course, I'm down. I'm here. I'm all down for it. So yeah, we're gonna keep it going. And yeah, just should I don't lengthen this intro too much. I think let's get right into it. Welcome back, guys. Last part, you can probably see here too. Kenzo disappeared. Well, there was blood in the dining hall, and then we came back here to the parlor. Maria found out about the deaths, but she was very calm about it, surprisingly enough, especially for a kid. I mean, especially for a kid knowing that her mom just died, she was very calm about it. There's that. Something's weird with Maria, to be fair. I don't really know what's going on with Maria, but yeah. And then Eva and Nazi went to meet up with Kinzo, so that maybe he could explain more about what's going on. But he's gone. He's gone from the study, and that's an extreme rarity, according to the servants themselves that have been spending. Genji's been here for decades, and even for him, it's a complete rarity shock that Kinzo's left his study here. And he says that it only happens in extremely, like, super special occasions. Which I'd reckon this is one of them, to be fair. Multiple family members died. I've said this last part, this is a special occasion. And yeah, but we do know one thing. Kenzo was here during the morning. So he's gone now, but during the morning we know he talked to Natsu. And we know he was there when Natsu then went out the door and had her little talk with Eva before they found the bodies. But after they found the bodies, for some reason, somehow, Kenzo just disappeared from the study. We don't know where he's at. So again, very sus from him there. We don't know where he's at. I think I've recapped everything, so I think we can just keep it going. No one had seen Kenzo since the 6 horrible corpses had been found. No one had ever heard of him. So yeah, 6 bodies, 6 corpses down. We don't know where Kenzo is. Maria's acting weird. Yeah, let's keep it going. On top of that, the phones were broken, the radio wouldn't reach anyone, and there was no way to contact the police. Man, y'all have it rough. And one thing I wanted to mention, which I've mentioned plenty last part, I think I've mentioned more than enough. So you know what, I'll mention this one time here, and then I'll stop mentioning it until they mention it. How have they not started talking, unless they're in denial, how have they not started talking about how the killer is one of them? If I was in their POV, I would notice, oh hey look, we're the only people in the island. That means the person who killed our family is one of us. Has to be. Whether it's a servant or a direct family member or a relative to a family member, like a husband or whatever, or a wife, whatever it is, one of us or multiple of us together, maybe there's more people teaming up to do these killings, are the cause of this. Now, of course, they're not gonna believe in the whole Beatrice story, so that's what their line of thinking, I feel like, should be. It makes sense, at least. It's rational. It makes, like a comment said on one of my videos, it makes more sense for that to be the case than a witch appearing. Even though I personally believe in the witch thing, at least to an extent. But yeah, they have it rough. Let's keep it moving. The radio won't reach anyone. There's no way to contact the police. Kinda sucks. And they have a serial killer on their hands. Well, yeah, murderer at least. I don't know about serial killer necessarily, but definitely a big murderer. Someone who doesn't like this family for some reason, or is doing this for witchly reasons. Ooh. Alright. It looked like the typhoon would leave tomorrow and a boat would come. But until then, no one could rely on anyone outside the island, nor could they escape the island. Which is way too much time. That is tomorrow for a boat to come? You're giving the killer way too much time to resume killing, man. But y'all gotta stick together. Group up. Don't let the killer kill you guys off one by one until the killer is the only person left standing. And then Beatrice comes back. She gets resurrected. Isn't that what it said in the epitaph? Oh yeah. By the way, right. I forgot. Someone commented this too on one of my, not the last Umineko video, but the one before. Someone commented that there's new stuff apparently, and like the I remember not because the droplet thingies or whatever. They meant like there's new information. So we're gonna check it out now. Uh, and and um, and yeah, so there's like either new character information or like new tips. But neither one could rely on anyone outside the island could escape the island. Yeah. So we're gonna check them out right now. I'm gonna check the character files if there's anything new in the character files or something. Oh! Yeah, okay, the character files are very different. So here we go. If you go for Kinzo, see we have a new story. We have a new new stuff we can read about him. So disappeared from his study unnoticed. Kinzo's study was everything from a bed to a toilet to a bathtub, so it is extremely rare for him to go outside. However, he does sometimes go out for a walk on a whim without telling anybody, which on several occasions has led to a huge uproar throughout the house. He usually comes back as soon as he gets hungry. Usually. Okay, now, Cross, dead. Corpse found inside the Rose Garden storehouse. The direct cause of death is unknown, but it seems the side of his head was smashed after his death. And yeah, we can at least see that, yeah, half his face is gone. Oh, yeah, okay, no, his full face is gone. Okay. We start where it all begins. What? What does that mean? The direct cause of death is unknown, but it seems the side of his head was smashed after his death. So after his death, someone smashed his head in half. So the left side of his head is gone. We start where it all begins. I have no idea what that means. Yeah, shouldn't we start where it all begins? Whatever. Natsui, I think, has not been updated at all, as far as I'm aware. Possesses a strong sense of responsibility. Nope. I don't think there's anything new. Same thing with Jessica, nothing new. Alright. Anything new for Eva? Alright, nothing new. I think there's only something new for these guys, for these red people and Kinzo. Nothing there. New for George? Nothing there. Alright, let's read Rudolph then. Corpse found inside the Rose Garden storehouse. His face seems to have been smashed after his death, so his entire face, okay? He has the right to lament his ill fortune. What do they mean by that? Ill fortune? His right to lament his ill fortune. Again, I don't really know what this last sentence means on either Cross or Rudolph's character files here. Okay, let's see what it says for Kiria. Her face is smashed in too. Corpse found inside the Rose Garden storehouse. Her face seems to have been smashed after her death. She was chosen by the demon's roulette? That's all there is to it? Oh! She was the one chosen by the wheel's roulette. So is she the direct victim to Beatrice? But wasn't Shannon also chosen by some roulette? Because she saw the flickering Beatrice light? Okay, nothing new for Battler. Yeah, nothing new. Okay, nothing new for Nanjo. Yes, nothing for Nanjo. Rosa, corpse. Why is Rosa gone? I'm still so sad and mad about that. Okay. Corpse found inside the Rose Garden storehouse. Her face seems to have been smashed after her death. I'll be seeing her again, so I'm not lonely. Who'll be seeing her again? Beatrice? This is Beatrice talking, right? Surely. I'll be seeing her again, so I'm not lonely. Please tell me that. Please tell me Rosa comes back. I don't know how. Considering she's dead, they found her corpse. If the witch can do some revival crap, I'm all here for it. Bring back Rosa. Hell yes. If there's one dead person I want you to bring back, it's Rosa. I'll be satisfied. I'll let you kill the rest, but please, even Shannon, I want a bright future for her and George. But I'm willing to let it slide. If you're willing to bring back Rosa, Beatrice, bring back Rosa at least. Okay, I if we're seeing this from Beatrice's perspective, so it doesn't mean it's the same thing, but for these people, she was chosen by the demons through that. That's all there is to it. So is this Beatrice speaking here too? Is Beatrice saying this as well? Is Beatrice the person saying he has the right to lament his ill fortune? That's what Beatrice is saying, and Beatrice also saying we start where it all begins. Okay. What about Maria? She knows all kinds of obscure trivia. Okay. Nothing new for Genji. Alright, nothing for Genji, but Cross and not to think of him as a Kinzo spy, but alright, Shannon. Okay, corpse found inside. Oh, okay, her left side of the head is gone, but her right side and eye, it seems to be intact. I think that's what I'm supposed to interpret. I mean, we don't get to see the bodies, but at least we get to see like how we get to imagine it. Corpse found inside the Rose Garden storehouse. It seems the side of her head was smashed after her death. Again, I'm interested in now that it's specifying that it's specifically happening after her death. So they're smashing the side of her head after her death, not during her death, not while she's killing her. After Shannon's already gone and dead, then you smash the side of her face. I wonder what's the purpose of doing that. Don't worry, everyone will be revived in the Golden Land. Yes, we saw that. It's the epitaph. We know. In the epitaph, it says that at the end, everyone will be revived. See, and that's what I'm hoping for. I hope Rosa comes back. She'll be revived by the witch, Beatrice. She'll revive them. That's what I'm hoping for. That's the only thing I can hope for. That's literally it. If Beatrice can revive them, I'll be happy. Or at least Rosa. I'll be happy. But in the Golden Land, I don't know what the Golden Land is. But yeah, whatever it is, I hope they get revived. He and Shen just happened to be the ones on duty that day. Right. Right. Okay. So there's obviously other servants here too. Gora. Oh, his entire face is gone. Corpse found inside the Rose Garden storehouse. His face seems to be okay, smashed after his death. How unfortunate. Apparently, he was actually supposed to be on duty in the guest house. But he wasn't. Not according to Kraus. Kraus put him on duty in the mansion. Even though he's actually living in the guest house, Kraus was like, nah, we'll put Gora in the mansion because we can trust Gora more because he's not as much. He doesn't have the crest, right? The one-eyed eagle. And he's not a direct. They don't suspect him of being a direct spy to Kinzo the same way they suspect Shannon, Cannon, and Genji to be. And I guess Kumasawa too. Apparently he's actually supposed to be on duty in the guest house. Okay. Lastly, you have Kumasawa, and I don't think we have anything new regarding her. Yeah. However, we might have something new in the tips section. So let's check the tips. Do we have something new? Okay, we still have this letter from the witch. I lent Kinzo a vast majority of gold. This is her letter. We've read this before. Special clause. Yeah, we've seen this. She has the right to collect the gold and accumulate interest upon the termination of the contract. However, something to spend the gold, Beatrice will abandon these rights. I remember that. Anything new though? She's taken possession of the ring. I know that. Anything new? Do not ask that you enjoy your battle fits with Kinzo Sama to the fullest, as you see played that this night will be both intellectual and elegant. Beatrice the Golden. Okay? Okay. If you discover the gold, I shall return everything to you. But Cross discovered some gold. Won't you return something to Cross? And Nazi has knowledge of it. Nazi is still alive and she has knowledge of it. And what about that? Okay. What about the epitaph? Anything new in the epitaph? Key to where the golden left sleeps. We've read this before. We've read this before twice, so we know what this is about for the most part now. I don't think there's anything new. Okay. Rest in peace, my beloved witch Beatrice. Right. This is what, because the letter is the one that the witch wrote, Beatrice, but the epitaph is what Kinzo wrote. So this is Kinzo's words. And one for the witch to eternally rest. Rest in peace, my beloved witch Beatrice. Alright. On the fourth twilight, gouge the head and kill. Fifth twilight, chest, stomach, knee, leg. Revives and none shall be left alive. The witch revives. But then, the journey ends. We reach the golden land, or home of the gold. They've called it multiple things now. And the witch shall praise the wise bestow 4 treasures. So the golden land, here we go, the golden land or home of the gold. I don't really know the difference, but you get the gold. You resurrect all the dead people's souls. Hopefully Rosa gets resurrected. Hopefully that happens. Revives all the love they possessed, and then the witch eternally rests. And the grimoire. Does that have nothing new for us? No, nothing new. And the tips, nothing new. Okay, so yeah. I checked all the new things there. I think we're ready to keep going. But yeah, reminder for Amin. Whenever there's like those little like like rain like sound, that means there's new info either in the character file or in the tips file. Check it out, Amin. You know, just this is just a mental note for myself. Oh man, sorry guys, this throat is heavy. All right, no one could rely on anyone inside the island. Okay, no could escape. Right. Everyone had lost their composure at the extremely sudden tragedy. Rip. A heavy silence and a sense of impatience. So they're not gonna do any detective work. They're just gonna hope that they don't die tonight. Even though they needed to do something, they couldn't think of anything. Some of them became irritated, while others merely held their hands in held their heads in their hands. Okay. Hmm. Hmm. But not one of them could explain what was occurring on this island of Rokkenjima. Honestly, I have more context than most of them. I think, at least. I don't know. Maybe one of them knows a lot about what's going on more than I do. But that's fine. And even I cannot tell you what's occurring on this island of Rokkenjima. I have no idea what's going on. I have some ideas. I have some theories, but like I don't actually know what's happening. Okay. Right. We're still in the parlor. After that, we sat in the parlor and wordlessly chewed through the breakfast that Kumasawa-san had made. B grade, not as good not as good as Gora's breakfast. Oh, too bad he's dead. He was supposed to be in the guest house though, according to Beatrice. We just read that a second ago. Hmm. Anyway, of course, this was right after something like that had happened. Uh, no one had any appetite. Well, of course, no one has any appetite. You just saw your family die. Well, at least you saw their dead corpses. You didn't see them die. If you had seen them die, I think things would have been very different right now. But you didn't. You just saw the dead corpses. So yeah, you natural. You don't have any appetite. However, we realized that not eating would weaken our bodies. This is true. It'd also be rude to Kumasawa-san who made the breakfast. This is also true. Kumasawa-san had taken the tasteful western vegetables, ones that Gora-san had probably special ordered for the purpose of some extravagantly fancy dish, and cooked them in a Japanese style, making them turn an unpleasant color. Oh. Well, Kumasawa should have tried making them European style, or wait, Western style, I guess. So sorry, it's Western style. She should, I mean, if she has the techniques for those, because if the vegetables are supposed to be, Western, and the Japanese style cooking fits better with Japanese vegetables, then maybe you should have tried something different. I don't know. I'm not an expert with cooking. I'll be honest. Just saying stuff. All right. As to what Gora-san had been planning to cook with those ingredients, right then I couldn't even imagine it. If I did think about it, I'll be reminded of the way Gora-san had died, and the inside of my mouth will be filled with a sour taste. For the time being, everyone pretended to eat, but there was no hope of anyone making any headway into the meal. Then, everyone was brought up to speed on the current situation, including Kumasawa, including Maria, I guess. Who else is not caught up to speed? Everyone else should be caught up to speed. Literally everyone else. Oh, actually, no. The whole dining hall thing, yeah, nah. That's something, yeah, okay, that needs to be explained to Natsuhi and Eva. And Nanjo? No, Nanjo was there, Nanjo was there. But yeah, and then everyone is caught up to speed. First off, that Uncle Cross, my dad. Oh wait. Oh, so this is Jessica speaking. We're looking from Jessica's perspective. Okay. Kirie-san, Auntie Rosa, Gora-san, and Shannon-chan. You've forgotten one, haven't you? One, two, three, four, five. You've forgotten Rudolph. Had been found in the Rose Garden storehouse as cruelly mutilated corpses. Why have you? Why have you forgotten? Wait a minute. Oh, I'm an idiot. I'm an idiot. Guys, sorry. Oh my god. It's because it said. Okay, I hope you guys understand where my grammar felt off there. First off, that Uncle Cross, my dad, I. Yeah, of course, you. It didn't make sense that we'd hear a monologue from Jessica's perspective. That doesn't make sense. This is Battler's perspective. He's just saying Uncle Cross and my dad and Kirie-san. He's not saying Uncle Cross, who's my dad, by the way. We know Uncle Cross is Jessica's dad. They don't have to say that. Right, I know. Okay, right. It just because he doesn't often say my dad. He does usually say old bastard or something like that. So I wasn't expecting that. I think that's probably another reason why. But at the same time, I should not have done that dumb. That is six though. One, two, three, four, five, six. That's all of them. Yep. And that despite that, we were unable to use phones or radio and still couldn't contact the police. That is unfortunate. Not even the emergency radio in an emergency situation, that doesn't even work. So until the typhoon passed, there was nothing we could do. Furthermore, grandfather, who we had hoped might be able to show a little leadership in this kind of situation, had disappeared at some point. For some reason, Gora's son hadn't made a breakfast, so grandfather's stomach must have been empty. And if he had just been taking a casual walk, by now he should have been stomping back to whine about how hungry he was. That does make sense. We did hear that. We did see this in the character file about how Kinzo usually goes out for walks but comes back because he becomes hungry. And since Kinzo hasn't had breakfast, you know, he's hungry. Yeah, there's something missing there, isn't there? And yet, he hadn't appeared. There was more than a small chance that he had become caught up in the earlier crime. Yes, but I doubt it. There's a chance Kinzo's one of the dead people. I doubt it. I doubt it. Like, Kinzo's the mastermind of everything. He's the one that made the epitaph. He's the only alive person I feel like that has more knowledge than everyone else. Unless there's someone or multiple people among everyone else that has more knowledge than what they originally seemed to actually have. Okay. But it's not impossible. Aunt Nachi and Auntie Neva had said that on their return trip from going to see Kinzo, they had called out to him on every floor looking for him, but were not able to find him. On every floor looking for him. Called out to him. So, makes me think either Kinzo's gone somewhere specifically, or he's purposely hiding away from his family members. Right? Either he's purposely trying to hide from his family members so that they don't find him, or he has an objective. He's gone outside the mansion to an objective, specific place to meet up with Beatrice or something. If Beatrice told him to go somewhere, or something like that. I don't know. Maybe Beatrice left him a letter or something. But okay. If you think about the timing of it all, it was probably best to think that he had been caught up in the crime. I mean, he was alive during the morning. Nazi can confirm to that. Nazi can confirm. Right? We remember, unless you saw a fake Kinzo, we saw Nazi with him. It's not impossible that he died between Nazi going to him and us going to the scene of the crime in the storehouse. It's not impossible that then someone at that point killed Kinzo, but I doubt it. If the culprit had taken the trouble to move the bodies of Dad and the rest, who we figured had been killed in the dining hall, all the way to the storehouse, then maybe they had already killed Grandfather, moved his body to some strange location, and we had simply not found it yet. I doubt that. No one actually said it, but this theory seemed extremely convincing. Yeah, I doubt it. But I see why you think that way. And I can see why it seems convincing, but I'm personally not with it. But if I feel like if I was a character in the visual novel, I think I would probably think that theory is probably very valid. Right.
私たちはお屋敷の戸締まりを確認してきます。
Okay.
お父様も念入りに探さなければなりません。子供たちはこの部屋を出ないように。
Okay, and y'all are sure that you guys aren't gonna be murdered during all of this? Well, checking all the windows and doors and stuff, you're sure that you're not gonna be murdered? Okay.
エヴァさんと秀吉さんは申し訳ありませんが、ここで子供たちと一緒にいてください。
Okay, okay. You're keeping those two here, okay?
南條先生もお願いいたします。
Nanjo, okay. So you're gonna go with the servants. That's it, basically, right? You're just gonna go out with the servants. Interesting. Interesting. One thing you could do is you could like trap the murderer. You know, if you're thinking, you know, we could sacrifice someone, and you know, and then use that to our advantage and find out who the murderer is, or you know, I don't know, detective work. Who knows? I don't think you can rely on the police. Like, I think you need to do some detective work. But okay, close all the windows. Alright.
わかりました。ここでお待ちしています。
I will wait here, he says. Not you let the servants, Genji-san, Kumasawa-san, and Kanokun out of the parlor. All that was left was Auntie Eva, Uncle Hideyoshi, the Dr. Nanjo, and the 4 of us children, for a total of 7 people. 7 people in here, and what, 4 people went out? Yeah. Okay, so we are in total 11, including Kinzo would be 12. If 6 people died, we're 18 in total, right? Have I miscounted? 6 people dead. Eva, Hideyoshi, Nanjo. Oh, okay, 7 people. So 6 plus 7 is 13. Right? 7 people. 6 people died. There's 13. Then the people went out. And then Kinzo's missing. Then we got Natsui, Genji, Canon, and Kumasawa. That's 18. Are there 18 people on this island? And then I guess Beatrice would be like the 19th, as Kirie proposed. Kirie did propose that there could be a 19th person, but she was against it, I think. She thought it wouldn't make sense. So she thought that the person who gave Maria the umbrella had to be one of the 18. I'm pretty sure that's what she said, if I remember correctly. But okay. 18 people.
みんなで仲良くテレビでも見て待ってよな。
18 people. 6 dead. 7 in the parlor right now. 4 went out to close all the windows and try and find Kinzo. Kinzo's absent. Okay.
しかし日曜日の午前中はろくな番組やっとらへんな。
Bro, you don't watch One Piece? You don't watch... Well, yeah, like... You don't watch, like, Attack on Titan? You don't watch Demon Slayer? Well, Demon Slayer's done now. There's usually bangers from banger anime coming out on Sundays. Okay, it's 1986 anime. It's 1986. Gotta remember. Was Isayama even born then? Were these writers who made these used to... Oh, they were. No, they were. Come on now. 1986, they must have been born. Right? I imagine Isayama was born in the 70s. But he was a kid back then. He was a kid back in 1986. So were all the other people who wrote all the other mangas and animes that I just mentioned. I don't know, bro. Like, watch some Ranking of Kings, though. Hideyoshi, in 30 years' time, whatever, I think, something along those lines. 10, 20, 30. 35, 36 years time. If you're still great in kicking, bro, watch Ranking of Kings. I love Ranking of Kings, and I think you'll love it too. Great show. Okay, anyway. Uncle Hideyoshi tried to stir up this gloomy atmosphere, acting cheerfully. Did it work? It worked on Maria. Maria seems to not give a single crap about anyone dying. Not even her mom. She doesn't care. She's just like, alright, let's watch TV.
ろくな番組見る見る
Yeah, she's down.
お、そうか。マリアちゃんはテレビ見るか。じゃ、おじさんと一緒に見ような。
Hey, come and watch TV with your uncle. Woo woo! Maria was the only one who played along. Well, Maria seems awfully calm about the whole situation. About the whole, death situation. And apparently she was caught up to speed as well during that breakfast. So, yeah, Maria, I don't know. I don't know, maybe either strong girl or something's going on. I don't really know. Maybe maybe she's great at handling her own mother's death. I don't know how. That's incredible. She's 9 years old. That is incredible if she's able to tackle that so calmly. In the same day her body was discovered. That's incredible. Uh, you know, if that happened to me today, right now, rather than when I was 9, I know I'd be freaking depressed. So I'm really impressed that that kind of rhymes too. But I'm really impressed that she's holding up so well, considering her mother just, she found out her mother died and some other people, her own family members. Alright, Maria, you're on something. Even though Maria had been told of her mother's death, she didn't know the slightest flicker in her. She didn't show the slightest flicker in her emotions. Exactly. I was literally just talking about this. Like, she knows of her mother's death, but she is extremely calm about the whole situation. I'm like, okay, Maria, you're wild. You're a wild kid. You know what? That's great. Good job. Good job on being able to tough it out this much. I guess. I mean, nothing wrong with feeling sad over your mother dying. Just saying, if you wanna cry, it's okay. You're a 9-year-old. But if you genuinely are that calm about the whole situation, then I'm impressed. I don't know how you're able to take this so well. Okay, you're 9 years old. Okay. Was 9 really this young an age? I don't reckon 9. Nah, man, I don't reckon 9 is so young of an age that your mother's death wouldn't hit you hard. I'm 100% certain. Like, I'm thinking of myself as a 9-year-old. I'm 100% certain I'd be depressed as a 9-year-old if my mother had died then, for example. So, like, Maria, impressive. Impressive. No one else was feeling the slightest bit like joining in. And not just like, just death, right? Murder, too. Like, my mom dying of, natural causes is very different than like a murder happening, right? I think we can all agree on that. I know I'm talking about this very casually, like, yeah, it's normal. It's not normal. Murder is not normal. People dying shouldn't be normal, but unfortunately it happens all too often. And so does murder, to be fair. Murder happens all too often in the day-to-day life. It's unfortunate. Unfortunate. No one else was feeling the slightest bit like joining in, and they each sank into their sofas and let their minds go blank. This is a bad mindset. This is a bad mindset. I actually prefer Hideyoshi and Mari's attitude. But at the same time, I do get why they're doing that, and if I was there, yeah, like, sure. But bad attitude right now. We need people who can get motivated again, who can try to figure all this stuff out. I think that's what we need.
兄貴聞いていいか
Can I ask you something?
なんだい
What is it?
さっき倉庫で兄貴はシャノンちゃんの指輪の話をしたよな
Yes, he proposed to Shannon. We remember, we saw.
あれ送ったのは
Yes,
兄貴か
of course he gave that to her. Yes, he gave the ring to her. Yeah, because he was proposing to her. And yeah. George Aniki didn't answer, but he hung his head and closed both of his eyes. There could be no clear response. Yeah. Yeah.
よせよパトラ
I guess now isn't the time, right, Jessica? I guess is what you want to say. Sure.
少しは察しろよ
You know, I can see why Jessica's saying this. I see why. And she mentioned this too, right? About, you know, when Eva was going wild with she was about to go like, wait a minute, George, did you give her that ring? And she was like, shut up, Eva, now's not the time. A man proposing to a woman, doesn't matter who. It's you know, right now during this situation, we are not gonna discuss it, right? Like she just died, and he just witnessed that, and now's not the time to talk about George proposing to her. So I can see why, you know, just like Hideyoshi, you know, Jessica doesn't see it as like the time now to talk about that. I get it. And Butler, yeah, kind of agrees with that.
悪いことを聞いたぜ
Yeah, understandable. But at the same time, considering y'all are at risk of dying today, to be honest, that's fair enough. You know, that's a fair question. You know, if you ask him that, then you know at least you get your answer before you die. Like, oh, okay, my cousin was in love with servant Shannon. Cool, bye. I forgot her real name, by the way, but she does have a real name, Shannon. I just forgot it.
そうさ僕だよ彼女に昨べ求婚したんだその時指輪を渡した明日になったらそれを好きな指にはめて返事としてくれって
And she did put it on her ring finger, on her left hand. She did. She accepted. She accepted. That was her answer. That's what makes it so much more heartbreaking.
気ざったらしいことを言ってね
Nah, I thought it was a respectable proposal. I did not think you two had that sort of relationship, though. I'll be honest, George. And that ring had been on the ring finger of Shannon Chan's left hand. Yeah, so she accepted it.
私さ数年前からシャドウに相談を受けてたぜ
What do you mean, talks? Were you also in love with her? Were you also gonna propose to her?
ジョージ兄さんのことでさ
Oh. Oh, like talking about George. So that's probably another reason why Jessica was able to figure out that those two were in love and they had something going on between them. And she gossiped with the battler too. I see. Okay, Jessica. But like, you don't snitch that sort of thing to battler if George isn't okay with it. Well, or at least he hasn't said, yeah, to go ahead. Just saying, Jessica. What's that about? What's that like? I remember that. I remember that discussion between you and battler when you were like, yeah, you did. George and Shannon totally have a relationship going between them, and I was like, whoo-hoo! Alright.
なんて言ってたのかな
I don't know what you could have said.
シャノンは嘘をつくのが下手だったからよ
No, I noticed that too. She's extremely bad at lying, yeah.
ジョージ兄さんのことを言ってるのはすぐにバレバレでさ自分は使用人の身分だけど親しくしてもいいのだろうかとか
Oh, so she always had feelings for George too. For years, she had feelings for him too. Man, they were just a match made in heaven then. Perfect. They were meant for each other. I'm telling you, Shannon should have just stopped her servant duties for some time, gone with George, started a family with George. It would have been great. And if she really hated that life so much, she could go back to being a servant, as she's told all the time by canon and stuff. Man, they were gonna have a happy life. I feel like. I thought, and like, I think it was gonna be a great relationship.
男の人の好きそうなものは何かとか
Ah.
どういう服を着たら喜ぶかとか
Yeah, because the thing is too, Shannon, in her life as a servant in this guest house, she is surrounded by a lot of women, other than Canon, to be fair, technically. But Canon's different. He's another servant, right? So she can compare George to Jessica because Jessica's another girl. So like she doesn't. I guess she wanted to know what the type of stuff boys like to to get to to get to closer to George some more, right? She was seeking help from Jessica, but Jessica is not a boy, and she works in a household with a lot of with no boys, basically, right? It's Jessica. She's the one living there with Natsu and Cross. Of course, you can't count Cross. You cannot compare Cross to Cross or Goda to George. Uh, uh, um, you can't compare Canon, but Canon is a special case where like even him you can't really use him as a meter for like what type of stuff do boys like, you know? So I bet it makes sense why she'd be wondering like what kind of stuff do they like, and another thing is she's been a servant all her life, so she hasn't really had experience or thought about stuff like that either. So it makes sense. And these kind of questions too, like these are questions whether you're a servant or not, even in real life. Like girls in love will wonder, oh, okay, well, what type of stuff do boys like, so I can get closer to my crush. All the time, happens all the time, and vice versa, of course, the opposite genders, of course, and you know. Not counting, gay relationships. Those count too. Obviously, same thing. Um, so it's all of it counts,
そんなことをいろいろとさ、
man.
なんつうのか、そのまあ焼けたぜ。
I made a joke earlier about how Jessica also wanted to propose to Shannon, but now I'm confused. Why were you jealous of her? Because you also wanted to propose to George? That doesn't make sense, does it? He's your cousin. He's your cousin. Jealous of her for what? Because she had someone she loved and you don't, or something? You wanted to find that sort of happiness too? I'm confused. That's tragic though.
それが婚約指輪を渡されて、そこでおしまいかよ。
Just like that. I mean, yeah. George is gonna have to settle for another woman, unfortunately. Or Beatrice revives Shannon. That is the only other option. If she has the witch powers to do that.
価値観は人それぞれだけどよ、男から求婚されるってのはある意味人生の到達点なんだと思うんだよ。
I see. Okay.
だからきっと昨夜のシャノンは心の底から、いや生まれてから今までの中で一番幸せだったと思うぜ。
And all of it was swept away in less than 3 hours. Just a few hours later, she was killed. Chop, chop, chop. Down to the storehouse. That's tragic. That's from becoming the happiest you've ever been to dead. That is quick turnaround. Life can switch up on you so quickly, can't it? I wonder if she, maybe during her death she had any regrets about not just putting the finger on right away and accepting George's proposal or anything like that. At least she had the ring on. Like, at least she can't regret it too much. Like, I don't think she died with any regrets necessarily, because she had the finger on when she died. So hopefully I think she's hoping for. I hope George sees that I put the ring on the finger. You know, if I was her, right? Like, oh, I put the ring on the finger. Hopefully, he notices this now that I'm dead. Well, as I'm about to die here, and George is happy with that answer, even though I'm dead. Maybe. But yeah, especially because Shannon is a servant. I'm sure, just like Jessica's saying, that has to be like one of the fantastic moments. Being proposed to by man is the high point of a girl's life. I'm not gonna comment on that too much because I don't again, I'm not a girl, so I don't want to comment what the high point for a girl's life is or not. But like I can't imagine, you know, being proposed by someone you love or proposing to someone you love, and then you both, you know, the relationship just works, and then you end up marrying each other. That has to be one of the high points of anyone's life, really. Of course, not everyone's into that. Not everyone wants to get married. I get that, and not everyone wants to have kids. I get that. I get that. That's fine. But for the people who do, that has to be such a fantastic feeling. Such like one of the biggest high points of your life. I am sure of it. I am sure of it. So yeah, I can see why Jessica's saying this. Oh man, you made George cry, Jessica. God damn it. George Aniki, without raising his head, sighed deeply. Or maybe tears had risen to his eyes.
シャノンは昨べゲストハウスの当番だったらしいんだ。
Let's cry. But she died. Well, at least the last we saw of her, she was in the mansion when she died. Right? That's when she saw the flickering light. And no, she had to be in the mansion because she saw the flickering light, and the flickering light of Beatrice is supposed to be a mansion thing. About how she's the ruler of the mansion or the island during the night. Right? So she was supposed to be on duty in the guest house. Because, you know, Cross moved them all over to the guest house, apparently. I'm not sure how believable that is, actually, but it sounds like Cross did it. He moved the schedules. She was supposed to be in the guest house, but before she could do that duty and stuff, George proposed to her. She went to the mansion, met Goda before his death, and then as she was wandering about the mansion at night, flickering light, butterfly, Beatrice got her good, I guess, and she's dead. Goda is too, at some point, even though he's playing his little, like, crossword game or whatever.
でもシャノンは僕と一緒に
Yeah.
ゲストハウスに帰るのを恥ずかしがって
He talks about it here. She went to the mansion.
お屋敷に行ってしまった。
So, okay, George, do you reckon if she had gone to the guest house, do you reckon she would have survived? Do you reckon it's because she went to the mansion and saw that flickering light that she died? That's a great question. Who was chosen by the roulette wheel? That was Kiria. Kiria was chosen by the roulette wheel that Kinzo was talking about. I'm just saying. I'm gonna keep that in mind. Kiria was chosen by this demon's roulette. That's something to keep in mind, in my opinion.
シャノンの気持ちを察しろよ。
Think about Shannon's feelings.
婚約指輪をもらえばどんなに予告されてたって普通は舞い上がっちまって頭は真っ白になっちまうぜ。
Yep, it's normal to feel embarrassed, especially from someone you love too, like someone you love and you know they love you. Like, you receive the ring, and like I can understand why she didn't go back to the guest house, of course, out of embarrassment. Absolutely understandable.
気恥ずかしくて仕方なかったんだろうよ。
Yeah, and I remember now, when she arrived at the mansion, she was walking all wobbly. Like, she couldn't walk straight. Because she was struggling to perceive what had just happened to her, right? It was insane.
それでシャノンは当番でないはずのお屋敷へ行き
She went to the mansion, and I remember now. Now I remember why Shannon died. Because Gora gave her the work that he should have done by having her go through all the rooms in the mansion or something, or do like a scheduled like go through. That's something Gora should have done, but she did it instead, and that's when she saw the flickering light and ended up dying somehow eventually. Gora ended up dying too anyway, even though he was just chilling down in the servant room playing crossword puzzles. So I don't really know how he died, bro. You were chilling in a room. How the frick? At least Shannon was vulnerable walking around the mansion at night. You were just kind of trash.
事件に巻き込まれてしまった
I mean, come on now, George. You could not have expected her to die tonight. Come on now. Don't be an idiot. Don't say it's your fault. There is no way you just went like, oh man, she might be murdered tonight in the mansion. Alright, let's just make sure she doesn't go back to the mansion. Come on now, George. That's ridiculous. That is ridiculous. Don't blame yourself for this. That is a whole reach to be blaming you for Shannon's death.
僕があの日あの場所で指輪なんか渡さなければシャノンはサヨは
That doesn't make
事
sense.
件に
Oh,
巻き
that's her
込まれ
real.
なかったんだ
Alright, so that's her real name. He repeated it. Good. So let's try to remember it now. But again, you're blaming yourself. That's such a reach, man. If only I hadn't given her that ring that day, bro. You're staying here for 2 days, and then you're going back to Nijima and wherever you live, bro. Like that day was the day to give her the ring. It was the perfect time. I don't know what you're on. I don't know what you're on. You cannot blame yourself for her death because of unfortunate events. Well, you're gonna be like, oh yeah, well, the letter clearly said people are gonna die, or rather, the epitaph clearly says people are gonna die. Like, come on, shut up, shut up. That's such a reach. If I'm in your POV, in your world, blaming you for her death does not make sense. Okay. That is sad. This has made me suspect George less though, because why would he help kill the girl that he just proposed to? Why would he help? Like in the beginning of this visual novel, the whole beginning of it until like a couple parts ago, George to me was one of the most sus people. But now I don't feel like he's as sus because of the whole Shannon Sayo situation, right? And him giving her the ring and the proposal stuff. Why would he do that? And he's crying out. So unless he's a fantastic actor, I don't see why he would have helped out in the killing, or else why he'd be the one that did the killing. Unless there are multiple people separately doing the killings and then putting the bodies in the in the servants, not the servant, but the you know, the room, the shutter room. Y'all know what I'm talking about, right? The room where the bodies were found near the rose garden, the storehouse. God damn it! All right.
兄貴それだけは違うぜ断じて違う
I agree.
だからそれ以上泣くんじゃね
バトラ君
What's up, Eva?
そっとしてあげなさい
Okay, interesting. Interesting, Eva. George's mom. Okay. 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 So, I'm reminded by when in the storehouse, she was about to call out George for giving her that ring. And now she's telling Beth to even be okay. Okay, Eva. Interesting. 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 Okay, Eva. Oops. I pressed the wrong button apparently. Let me go. Let me do this. Come on. Let me do that. Okay. After those words from Auntie Eva, I stopped talking to him. Misplaced words of comfort might actually hurt him. It's true. Jessica sat down next to Aniki and quietly put an arm around him. Maybe only... Interesting as well that he's calling him Aniki rather than George. Now. Well, he typically calls him George Aniki, but now he's just straight up calling him just Aniki. That's interesting. Thanks to One Piece, I know what the word Aniki means. Or I say thanks to One Piece. Thanks to the One Piece fan sub by Horrible Subs from like 10 years ago. I know what the Aniki means. Alright, maybe only Jessica, who had known about Aniki and Shannon's love since the beginning, can comfort him. And who had been discussing that relationship with Shannon could comfort Aniki now. Yeah, I kinda see that. I can kinda see that. I think Battle, you should leave them be. Especially because, like, you haven't met them for 6 years. You don't really know them as well as you used to, you know. This is the first time meeting them after 6 years. I get it. Well, Jessica knows a lot more. I went over to Auntie Eva and sat down on the opposite sofa. Ooh, a Battler Eva discussion is gonna be interesting to me. I, wa- I want a Battler to talk with Eva. I wonder what they talk about. To me, their personality clash is gonna be something else. And all Eva stopped ever since the murders for the most part. She's just stopped doing her snarky remarks. She's taking things seriously. You can tell. But still, though, her personality, the way it measures with Battler, I think that's gonna be so interesting. If they have a whole dialogue between each other, I'm gonna be so invested. To be honest.
バトラ君は強いわね。
Okay, okay. Yes, we are having an Evan Battler dialogue. Yes. Okay, again, I wonder what these two could possibly talk about. Battler, you really are strong. Why? Because he's not crying even though both his parents are dead. You know, he sees one of them as his older sister more than an actual parent. But you get the point.
もうだいぶしっかりしているように見えるわよ。
Hmm. Are they just gonna talk about this? What would Battler and Eva ever possibly talk about with each other? Would they really even get along? I'm interested in this. This is interesting, so interesting to me. We have seen them interact a bit before, but back in the plane, or the airport, I should say. But at that point, we barely knew anything about either Ev or Battler to even consider that conversation anything relevant or to me at all. It didn't matter to me at all. But now we know so much more about Eva and Battler that this conversation to me is much more interesting.
まあほら愛の深さが傷の深さじゃないですか。俺は別にあんなクソ親父同志の方が知ったことじゃないし。
But you care a little bit though, right? You said it yourself. It's in our genes to cry when our parents die. You said it yourself. You care about it a little bit. Like, yeah, you hate him for all of this stuff he did to you, and I understand why. I understand your arguments for why. But it's also something else that George said. I can't believe I'm remembering this, that George said this. But George says something along the lines of, while you can't always agree with what your parents are doing, just know that they're also in their own way trying their best. They may just be talking about business trash to you, but they are in their own way trying to protect their family in the best of their abilities. So that's another perspective of things from George's wise words here that I want to keep that in mind too. So, and yeah, you do care about him a little bit, right, Battler? Enough to cry over him. That's for sure. To cry like really like and to be depressed over this entire situation. Well, that's not just because of Rudolph though. That's because of multiple people. But you get the point. Still, okay, I'm not gonna. I hate mentioning this every time, but still haven't mentioned how the killer is one of them. But okay, I'll move past that. I don't care anymore. I don't care about that anymore. They're not gonna. They don't want to mention it. Fine.
キリエさんは気の毒ですが、まあ本当の親ってわけじゃないですしね。
She got caught by the roulette though. She got caught by the roulette, according to Beatrice in the character files. Interesting.
あらという割にはさっきすっごく大泣きしてたわ
He
よ。
was. Okay. He was crying a lot. So again, he cares at least a decent amount. He has to.
まあ育ての親に対する恩はあのくらい泣けば OK かと思いまして。
Ah. Respectful.
そのあたりの切り替えの速さやドライなあたりは本当にルドルフ譲りね。
Oh yeah. I've noticed that. I've noticed some personality similarities between him and Rudolph, but they're also different though. I've noticed some similarities, but they're also different. Rudolph has these moments of just like, of those like the dry tone and changing mood quickly, but he also has these moments of just like weird seriousness that is very hard to explain, as if he knows something we don't know, that none of us know. For example, when he was talking about how he was going to die. He told Kitty and Battler he's probably gonna die tonight, and he was right. He predicted himself right, but he didn't predict Kitty had died that night because she got by the roulette, I guess, and Rudolph isn't aware of the roulette or something. But it does seem to be like Rudolph knows more, or at least knew. I mean, he's dead now, but he knew more than what the eyes think, or that what we first see. See, he's a bit of a mysterious character at the same time. Too bad he died early. Would have liked to see a bit more of Rudolph, even though I'm not the biggest fan of Rudolph. But yeah, there are some similarities between Rudolph and Battler. I'm not denying that.
あの子は昔から激しく喜んだり悲しんだり怒ったりしたけれど、すぐにケロリと平静を取り戻したわ。
I guess that is a common trait.
そんなことはないっすよ。
It's not.
俺だってまだまだ心のショックから立ち直れちゃいません。
So you're saying you're just really good at appearing like you're really good at getting over shock, but on the inside you're still very very shocked.
ただ俺がみんなと違うのはそれによってどういう感情が生み出されるかってことだと思います。
Interesting. Will you elaborate? Can you elaborate, and will you elaborate? The emotions that rose up in you were different.
どういうこと？
Thank you. Ever asking the question that we're asking to elaborate. Suspicion. I was acting much calmer than George, Annika, and Jessica were. That I can agree with. Yes, he was crying over his parents' death and everyone else's death, but ultimately, George recovered very quickly, to be fair, especially considering his whole proposal with Shannon. But at the current state, I do feel like Battler is calmer overall. That wasn't because my sadness was less intense and had already sprung back to normal. It's because my sadness had been gradually replaced by a different emotion. Huh? By a different emotion? I like this music, by the way. It's really bringing the mood.
悲しいっていうよりは腹立たしいって気持ちなんすよ。
Irritated. Interesting. Okay, so sadness has been replaced by irritation. At what? At your dad dying too quickly? At what?
どこのドイツがこんなことをしやがったのか。ひよこっつらに一発を逃してやらないことに。
Battler! Battler is on some smoke. He's on that Eren Yeager smoke. So Eren Yeager, when his mother died, he was sad, of course. But that sadness quickly turned to irritation. Eren was like, yeah, I'm gonna kill all the Titans. So Battler's on that Eren smoke. He's like, alright, I'm sad, of course. Frick you for killing my, frick you for killing my parents and family that are hold dear to me. Alright, I'm coming after you, bro. Battler, do it. Start the detective run. Let's go. You're the MC. We know you can do it. We know you're the best. Let's go, Battler. Dude, I feel like I'm calling it now. By the latter parts of the game, or once we go on here, I feel like Battler's going to become one of my favorite characters easily. He's already like a really good character for me. Even since the start, you know, I've always said Rosa, of course, was my favorite character because of how pure-hearted and how great of a person she is. But Battler was always like great to me, right? He was always one of the better characters, and I genuinely feel like by the end, Battler, and his name too is so sick. I love his name, Battler. I swear, by the end, I do actually feel like Battler will be among my favorites, if not perhaps my favorite character. We'll see. That we're going too quickly with that, though. We're going too quickly. Besides, I don't want to start this whole character tier listing bullcrap now. Not now. I just did 11 hours of that yesterday and the day before. We're done with that. Alright. I feel like I can settle down until I've smacked him upside the face. Nice. I like that attitude. We don't have all day to be sad. All right. We gotta freaking figure out what's happening. That's why I think we should do some detective work. That's the attitude I want. That was what I really wanted to do. He was like, I couldn't allow myself to just sit here, overwhelmed with sadness and hugging my knees. That's respect. He's like, yeah, I respect that. I like that mindset. You know, you gotta, you can't, what, just sitting there and crying isn't gonna solve the mystery of what the frick is happening. Why did people die? There's still a murder on the loose. I can sit there and cry all I want. I'm gonna get killed eventually too. And then what? And then what? Life's wasted. Life's wasted.
親父たちが殺されて以降この島は台風に包まれたままです
Correct.
つまりこれだけの上等を決めてくれやがった野郎はまだこの島の中にいるってことです
Also correct. Are you gonna finally, Battler? Please be the smart one here, or at least please say something along the lines of that the killer has to be one of us. Has to be one of us. Well, 13, 14 that are left. Wait, there were 18 at first. There's 12 of us left, even though Kinzo's disappeared. So if there's 18 in total, if you don't count Beatrice right now, because I don't think Battler believes in Beatrice, there's 12 of us. One has disappeared. Surely, come on now, Battler. Talk about how one of us is the killer. Talk about that. Come on now. Talk about that. Come on now. Mention it, please.
そういうことになるわね。
Who do you think it is, Eva? Who is it? It has to be one of us.
今も暗い森のどこかに身を潜めているのかしら。
So are Eva and what's his name? And Battler, of course. Are they really saying there's a 19th person? Do they believe in a 19th person? Because if everyone here and you know, Natsuki and the servants do believe there's a 19th person who caused all of this, rather than it being one of them, then that changes what they were talking about earlier with Kirie. How she didn't believe there was a 19th person. The person who gave her the umbrella had to be one of us. Now there's a 19th person. Is there a 19th person? I guess it will technically be the 13th person now, because 6 people are dead. But you get the point. So where's that? If they're hiding in the forest, then it's not of us. It's not of us 12, unless it's not of us 11, unless you reckon it's Kinzo. I'm not denying that it's impossible that it's Kinzo, but all I'm saying. But if Eva and the Battler start believing in Beatrice, that changes everything. That changes everything. If they start being like me and start believing Beatrice, that literally will cause a whole perspective change in this whole series. This whole story right now. I felt like I'd had a very similar conversation with Kirie's-san the night before. Yep. The whole Kirie's postulations. I still remember that conversation. You're having that similar conversation now with Eva. Similar conversation. I guess, yeah, this is the sort of conversation you'd have with Eva. I was really interested about what you and Eva will talk about, Battler. I was really interested. Interesting. This is still interesting. That's right. After the letter from the person who claimed to be Beatrice appeared at the dinner table last night, we had talked about whether or not a 19th person actually exists. Boom! Boom! I was literally just talking about this 2 seconds ago. So are y'all on that? Are you and Eva on that? A 19th person exists, hiding somewhere in this dark forest. Are you guys on that? Whether this 19th person is Beatrice or not. Are you guys on that? Do you guys believe there's a 19th person who's causing these murders? Or do you believe the murders is caused by one of you? Because if you don't believe this 19th person, the murders has to be one of you. Has to be. Unless there's more than 19 people, you know, there's not just 19th person, but also 20th person, or 21st person. Maybe more. Point is, do you believe that you're not the only ones out here? Because that, like I said, that changes everything. That literally changes the whole context. Alright. I appeared at the dinner table last night. We had talked about whether or not... Okay, yeah.
エヴァおばさん
Okay.
この殺人昨夜のベアトリーチェの手紙と何か関連があるんでしょうかね
Good start.
ああ、例の
I don't reckon Eva believes in it, does she? I don't think so.
さあ、どうかしらね。
She says, I wonder. Okay. So maybe she doesn't necessarily not believe in them in the letter, but she doesn't necessarily believe in it either. She's kind of in between. She's like an agnostic. She has to see it to believe it. Okay.
あの手紙はお父様が遺産問題に絡みたくて出した怪文書という見方で兄弟は一致したんだけれども、それと今朝の事件に関係があるかは今の段階では分かりかねるわね。
It's impossible to tell at this stage. You're not wrong. Even for me, you're not wrong. I cannot tell you whether these two things are connected in any way. You're absolutely not wrong.
あの手紙、本当にベアトリーチェなんて魔女がマリアに渡したんすかね。
That is what Maria is claiming, and like I said, I'm willing to believe Maria here. I don't think Maria has any reason to lie about stuff like that. Absolutely not. In fact, Maria, it's because Maria respects witches so much and their existence that if she saw a fake witch, Maria would not just go ahead and say it's a real witch. She would just be like, oh, a fake witch came up to me. I know Maria would have said that if it was a fake witch. So surely a real witch came up to her. That's why I believe in Maria's story. How much is it connected to the murders is impossible for anyone to tell at this stage in the story.
まさか
How could it be?
全部お父様の仕組んだ茶番でしょ。
You reckon? So you think all this is a big plan by father, even him disappearing? Kinzo? You think him disappearing, all this, just all of his plan? He planned to murder his own kids? And his own servants that serve directly under him? This is all Kinzo? Really, Eva? Or how far are you going with this farce devised by Kinzo? How far are you gonna go with that thought?
シャノンちゃんあたりに肖像画のドレスを着させてマリアちゃんを騙したんでしょ。
Not impossible, but I'm going to doubt that. I'm going to doubt that theory.
お父様らしい手の込みすぎたいたずらだと思うけど。
ゆうべキリエさんとベアトリーチェは実在するんだろうかって話をしたんですけど。
But whether Beatrice actually exists? Right.
キリエさんも俺たち18人の中にベアトリーチェがいるだろうって言ってましたね。
Exactly. I mentioned this earlier. How the conclusion of that discussion was that there is no 19th person, and that one of us 18 had to be the person that gave her the umbrella. Using that same logic, it has to be one of us 18. Well, I guess it becomes 12 now. That killed these 6 people. Has to be. Unless someone killed these 6 people or more, killed these 6 people, and then one of the people who died also committed suicide. But considering the bodies, the bodies were damaged after death, I don't believe that. I mean, if you've killed yourself, how are you gonna damage your body after death? All right, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. I don't think any of these people committed suicide. I don't see why they'd have any reason to, as of right now. And even if they did commit suicide, at the end of the day, someone damaged their bodies after death. Someone must have. Someone must have damaged every single one of their bodies after death. So someone's an evil piece of crap out there, either way. Okay. She'll say that Beatrice was probably one of the 18 of us.
そんなの当然じゃない。
You think that's obvious? Okay. So you also think that the murderer is one of the 18 of us. Good. Okay. If I was in the visual novel, one of the characters in there, we would be on the same page, Eva. We would be on the same page, and then I'd immediately realize not only is this Beatrice which one of the 18 of us, but also whoever it is that killed these family members has to be one of the 18 of us. That would be one of my early conclusions. If I was a character with you guys, but I'm not. I'm speaking from an outside perspective, and I don't agree with that theory. But I want you to agree with that theory. I want to see you say it. I want to see what the characters in the visual novel say. Oops, sorry.
この島には私たちしかいないのよ。
Okay. So you agree with that, okay?
なら私たちの中の誰かがベアトリーチェを語ったに決まってるじゃない。
Forget who's pretending to be Beatrice. Forget that. Talk about the murders. Do you agree, Eva? If there's only us and someone's pretending to be Beatrice or not, whatever, can you agree that the murders have to have been caused by one of us? It doesn't add up that someone's hiding in the forest and that person is the one that caused the murders, because the only one that isn't here and has disappeared is Kinzo. So unless you think it's Kinzo, even then, you agree it's one of us. Right, Eva? Alright, my throat is gonna hurt too much if I keep talking like that, but... it's already hurting enough, but y'all get the point.
この島には俺たち以外はいないですか。
Oh,
当然でしょ。
obviously.
私たち以外の誰がここにいるっていうの？この島には私たちしかいない。
Okay.
18人しかいない。
Okay. And you're sure you're not saying this just to deceive me, Battler? Right, Eva? You're not saying this to deceive Battler or me? You actually think this?
なら、ベアトリーチェを語るのも18人の中の誰かしかいないじゃない。
God, like I said, stop about this bad teacher talk with the umbrella. Talk about the murders, please, Eva, please. That's what I want. That's where the real heat comes in. Who cares who gave Melody the umbrella? Okay, I care, but like, not now. Kiryu-san had denied that there was a 19th person by flipping over the chessboard. Hey! They remembered it. I've done this a lot, even after Kiryu died. I keep flipping over the chessboard. I'll never forget this. Kiryu, I'll never forget that. You left a powerful weapon with you, along with you for us, even though you're dead. But I'll remember it. Even though Auntie Eva hadn't constructed an argument that complicated, her opinion at least was the same. Except, if that is the case, our situation starts to look very ugly. Yes, okay, finally I think they're gonna start talking about what I want them to talk about. At the time of Beatrice's letter, we were able to dismiss the matter as just someone's prank. But you can't do that anymore, okay? However, if you deny the existence of a 19th person at this point, matters are not so jovial. In other words...
19人目がいないなら
Come on, say it! Say it! Say it! Say it! Say what I've been wanting you to say for the last 2-3 parts. Say it!
親父たちを殺した犯人も18人の中にいるってことになっちゃうんじゃないですか。
Oh, that took way too long, I feel like. But we're there. We're finally there. Yes. 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 Mwah, 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 mwah. Yes. You dinged it on the head right there, Battler. Yes. If there is no 19th person, if you don't believe in Beatrice, one of us is the culprit. One of the 18. Yes. Oh. Finally. Of course, Battler is going to be the first person to say it. Of course he is. Thank goodness, Battler, the main character, finally said it.
つまり今この屋敷にいる誰かが殺したってことになる。
Yes. Could be someone in this room. Could be Nazi or the servants that went along with her. Could be Kinzo. Those are the options. That's it. That is it. Okay? Okay? That is it. Okay? Golly. What do you think, Eva? Alright, what do you think? What's your opinion? Huh? Were you the one that did it? Huh. I don't think you were, but huh. Auntie Eva smiled meaningfully. Okay. Looked like Auntie thought that this conclusion should have been obvious from the very beginning. Well, would you look at that? It was obvious from the very beginning. It was freaking... You guys have been spending hours out here eating breakfast, being in the parlor, watching TV, and none of you, because of denial of something, dare to come to the conclusion, hey, one of us 18 is the killer. Woo! It can't be one of the 6 people who are dead, because their bodies are damaged after death. So it's one of us. Huh? But how... Yes, it should have been obvious from the very beginning. Eva, what the frick, man?
犯人は倉庫の中に6人の遺体を運び込んだわ。
Correct.
でも、よく倉庫の中に運び込めたわよね。
Well, everyone knows what the servant room is. Everyone can grab a key open them. Well, they'd have to know that the key is the key to the storehouse. A possibility is the culprit took just a bunch of keys with him before the whole murders happened at all. The culprit took a bunch of the keys, tried to open the locks, and found the one that works. Put the keys back. Then when the murders happened, then it was time for him to take the key, use it, murder peeps, set them in the storehouse, put the key back. That's something even someone who doesn't live here, like Natsui, even then, someone can do something like that. Someone who's just visiting in. Especially because they come here once every year. They know this mansion well enough. Of course, if it was Kinzo, he knows this mansion well enough. One of the servants obviously knows this mansion more than well enough. They know exactly what the key is because they use it all the time. I'm sure they're experienced. Alright?
あのシャッターは常に閉められていて施錠されていたそうよ。
So y'all never use the tools within the shutter? Never?
つまり倉庫内に運び込むにはシャッターの施錠を開ける必要があった。わかる？
Yes, I think we kinda already knew that. Yes.
たまたまその日シャッターが開けっぱなしになってた可能性は
Doubtful?
使用人たちは常に閉めていると言ってたわ。
Yeah.
つまり鍵を使用人室から持ち出さなくては倉庫は絶対に開けられない。
Okay, so it's doubtful, like you said, like you're saying right now. Like I said, and like you're saying right now, it's doubtful. They couldn't have opened the storehouse. They need to get the keys from the servant room.
鍵は使用人室の一つしかないんすかね
Is the only key the one in the servant room? Okay. Before we continue on with that, since the key is never used and they always just keep the shutter shut, if someone were to steal the key for a day or for several hours, nobody would notice. The servant wouldn't notice, right? Because they never used the storehouse anyway. So like, why would they care that much about preserving the key? Unlike the key to some of the doors in the mansion or the mansion itself, key to the storehouse, not as important, right? If they never use it anyway, never use the tools, they will just keep it shut.
源氏さんはそうだと言ってるわ。
Yeah, Genji did say that, yeah.
ということは犯人はそのたった一つの倉庫の鍵のありかを知っていて持ち出した。
Possible that the culprit spent time learning about the mansion, even if it is... like, I know you could suspect a servant for this, but it's possible that the culprit is one of us that just took the time throughout the day to just find where the key is and just took different keys and tried opening different combinations with the locks to try and find the correct key.
さっきカノン君が使用人室に鍵を戻すところを見たわ。壁にびっしりと鍵がかけられていて、とても素人にはどこに何がかけてあるのかわからなかった。
Okay, the wall was packed with keys, and I don't think that a novice would know where and to what those keys went to. Interesting. Okay, I see. No, I see that. Okay.
犯人はその中から倉庫の鍵を見事選び出したの。
Hey, trial error? Is that too ridiculous? Just trial and error? I'm just saying. It could be trial and error. I mean, I see your point, Eva. Trial and error can take you far in life. That's all I'm saying.
しかも札も何もついていない鍵を手にしてバラ庭園裏にある倉庫の鍵だと理解した。
Key didn't have a tag.
ついでに言うと倉庫の場所すら理解していた。
Right, because the storehouse isn't something that's super. That's a common thing, right? I mean, we didn't even know it was a location until the bodies were found, to be honest. So, yeah.
もっとはっきり断言する。犯人は使用人室の内部にも熟知している。
Yeah. I mean, Probably. Probably. I mean, most likely, that's more likely than the culprit having done trial and error during the last day to try and see if it worked, which of the keys worked and all that, and that the storehouse even existed. I agree, but I'm just saying, I'm just not denying it. I don't think it's a probability 0. I'm not denying its possibility yet. Alright. Her argument was extremely plain and clear. If the bodies had been thrown somewhere in the bushes of the rose garden, no explanation would have been necessary. However, the one key to the storehouse was in the servant room, and stored with a large group of other keys, such that a novice would not be able to tell them apart. This meant that the culprit was someone who was used to going in and out of the servant room and knew well where the key was. The family didn't normally go into the servant room, which meant that... Okay, so the conclusion here is that the servants are... One of the servants is the culprit. So Genji, Kumasawa, Canon. And I don't suspect either the 3 of them, but I can see based on all the theories you guys have done so far that it is one of those 3. I can see it. Okay, well, if you wanna put an easy blame, you know, the most obvious and clearest one, then yes, one of the servants is the most likely one to have been the culprit. One or multiple of the servants. I mean, you cannot rule out Canon right away because of his relationship with Shannon. And then there's Kumasawa, who was shocked at the blood in the dining hall. But the murderer did want them to see the bodies in the storehouse. The murderer did purposely make it so that they wanted the family to see the bodies. So I wouldn't be surprised if the murderer was Kumasawa, let's say, that she told everyone about the blood on the dining hall on purpose, so that, you know, she can bring attention to that too. I don't know what Kumasawa's plan would be then, there in that situation, but I personally don't find it very likely. I'm not with it personally, but I see what you mean. And then lastly there's Genji, because Canon wouldn't kill Shannon, right? Come on now. Lastly there's Genji. We don't know enough about him at all to be able to properly make an argument for or against him being the culprit, to be honest. He is mysterious though. Why has he been working with the Ushima family for so many decades? But I don't think Genji's the one either. And he has done a lot of mistakes, like he touched the key all over when they were in the shutter, and he went apologies. So I can see why people you might find they might find Genji sus, but I don't think it's Genji.
悪いけど、それ以上はおばさんも言えないわよ。
Even your auntie can't say any more than that.
でも、一つだけ教えられることがあるわ。
You'll tell me one thing, auntie. Tell me, auntie.
なんすか?
What's that? Blood.
犯人たちは複数で、そして十分な武装をしていたと考えられるわ。
You're saying there's multiple culprits.
だってそうでしょ?
We should probably say they were culprits in the plural, and what's more, they were well armed. You see it, don't you? Because of the blood in the dining hall too.
食堂にいた兄さんたち4人を一度に襲って殺し、合計6人分の遺体をようようとバラ庭園の向こうの倉庫まで運んで、悪趣味な化粧と落書きを施している。これだけのことを単独犯で行えるはずもないでしょう。
Okay. See what you mean. Could be 2 people who did the killing. Could be 3 people. I see what you mean, Eva, and I was thinking about that too, about how likely it could be that there's not just one killer but multiple killers. We don't know. But I see your argument here, Eva. I see it. That assault the 4 in the dining hall, kill them all at once. Try. Okay, to the storehouse. Just scribble out because they make up on their faces. Yeah. It was impossible. It might not have been. It might not have been if a single person spent enough time on it, but that would have taken ages. It was probably best to think that a significant number of people had been a part of it. You're saying at least 2, 3 people, even 3 people might have been a part of the whole plan. So, for example, like all the servants that are currently alive. I'm not with that either, personally. For Kinzo's gain, okay, but and maybe I guess so your argument could be Shannon had to go because Shannon was betraying them, joining with George, right? Proposing with George, accepting George's proposal, and then you could argue Gora had to go because he's not a proper Kinzo servant. He doesn't have the one-eyed eagle. From that POV, I can understand why you think this. I can understand why you think, oh yeah, like why the servants would be okay with killing the other servants, these 3 specifically. But okay, does you think that a significant number of people had been part of it?
ってことはエヴァおばさんは使用人の人たちがみんなグルだろうって言ってんすか
I think this is where I'll end it, guys. Yeah, I think this is where I'll end it. I think it's a good place to end it. Maybe all the servants were in cahoots. That is the last theory we have come up with as of right now. Now, yeah. I hope you guys enjoy this part of Umineko when they cry. I need my throat to take a chill. So yeah, I'm not going to be recording for a bit here. So see you guys soon, probably. But yeah, I'm so glad I was able to put out that Umineko video because I really felt like I was being unfair to you all by not putting out that Umineko video before. After the whole character tier list stuff. So I really wanted to do this one. But yeah, I hope the recording was caught. We should be good to go. Maybe not. Maybe you guys are not listening to this at all. But nah, we'll see. I hope you guys enjoyed this part of Umineko when they cry. Hope you guys enjoyed watching this as much as I enjoyed reading it, I guess. And next part, probably more theorizing. Probably more, who's the killer? Who did stuff? We'll find out. Soon? Soon? Maybe. We'll see. Are we halfway through episode 1? Maybe. We'll see. I hope we are. If we're not halfway through episode 1, that's something. That is something. That is incredible. I have been trying to go a bit faster paced than usual, especially with this part because my throat was hurting. So I'm trying to go a bit faster paced. I don't think I went that extremely fast paced, but yeah. I hope we're all good. And I'll see you guys next time for some more Umineko. Alright, guys. Peace.